this is Ray from RayRoyall Reads on YouTube. I am also over on Pens and Paperbacks, which is a podcast that my cousin and I are doing together, and I just figured I would start posting on here as well because I don't really post on here a lot. And so, yeah. That's me. I just finished reading the Songbird and the Heart of Stone, which is technically book 3 in the Crown of Nyaxia series, but it is book 1 in the Shadowborn duet. And this is actually the second time I've read this book, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. So I figured we would come together and discuss it. So if you, for starters, if you have not read any of the books in this series, or if you have not read this, the Songbird and the Heart of Stone at all, you probably should go read that and come back. A non-spoilery, I don't know, it's book 3, and so it includes characters that were a part of the previous book. So if you want to go in completely blind with this series, this might not be a good video to you to watch. But anyway, fair warning. We're gonna start. So if you haven't read the this one yet, it is about Mische and Asar, which is one of the princes of the Shadowborn vampires. And we kind of go along on this journey with Mische and Asar, and they're kind of going through the levels of hell, essentially, towards hell. And so it's really interesting. My initial thoughts when I first read this, I was so wrapped up in the fact that it ended in a way that I wasn't really expecting it to end. So that was really cool. But then later on, when I reread it a second time, it just seemed like the growth that Mische goes through and just resonated with me a lot more than it did the first time. Like, for example, I honestly feel like Mische was a character that's far more, like, her character is way deeper than what we kind of anticipated her to be. At least I did. And it was really interesting to see how we get her backstory, and we also see this struggle, this internal struggle she's going through, and how because in the first couple books, she seemed to be like such a bubbly character. And now we're getting this, and we're seeing just how much she's struggling behind the scenes. And honestly, I would have to say one of the main thing that resonates with me is that we've all been through some type of significant change in our lives at some point, and Mische is one of those characters. She's went through a big change in her life. It wasn't voluntary. She didn't ask for that change to happen, but it happened. And I feel like we've all been there at some point where we've kind of been forced to go through some kind of change in our life, and we're not ready to change, and we try to hold on to our past, and that can be hard. That can hurt. And as we go through this book with Mische, we see all those times where it's physically hurting her to hold on to the past. And it's just so powerful because over the course of the book, we see her kind of growing as a person and beginning to see that sometimes it's okay to let go of the past and move forward. And sometimes we grow and we don't really fit into that mold that we used to fit into. And it's just, I don't know. There's something about it for me. I just really, really like it. And I think it's really kind of relatable for a lot of people. And that's one thing I really love about Carissa Broadman's writing. One, the way, like the tone that she writes in and the way she writes is just phenomenal. It's very different than anything else I've read. That's one thing I would have to say. Her books, her writing is so unique compared to anything else I've read. And I just love how her characters are flawed, but not in a way that I feels almost rage baity at times, at least for me. And it's just, I don't know. And then she has characters like Asar that are also struggling, but in a slightly different way. And there's times where Asar represents so much. Like, he represents those people that are in our lives, that are going along that path with us, that are struggling along with us and hurting along with us, that remind us that we are more important than our past and we are better than who we were, and that we are special in our own way, and that our past and our mistakes and those molds that we were put into when we're younger don't define us and don't have to define us, and that we can move forward and be better. And I really love that. I definitely would give this book a 5-star. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I don't really think there's been any book in this series where I haven't given it a 5-star. I'm thinking book 2 may have been a 4-star maybe. Or it might have been a 5. Honestly, I love Carissa's work so much that any of her books that I've read, I'm sure I've given them all 5 stars. So you know what? It's one of my favorite series. I really enjoy it. I just started Fallen in the Kiss of Dusk, which is book 4 last night, so I'm super excited to continue that. But yeah, Mische is a very connectable, relatable character, and honestly, I just love the journey that she goes through. But there's a couple other things that I wanted to kind of vent about a little bit. One, the whole storyline with Atraxis was just so sad, and at times it was so appalling. It's like when you realize just how young she was when she was kind of given to him, and when she became his bride, it's just, the whole thing was just so sad. And okay, I have a love-hate relationship with Mische's sister. And I always forget how to say her name, so I'm just going to reference her as her sister so I don't say it wrong. But one thing that I don't quite know how to feel about her, mainly because I feel like her sister was doing what she needed to in order for them to survive. But I also feel like her sister was trying to live through her a little bit, because her sister gave herself to Atraxis. And they kind of hints, for me, it feels like her sister kind of wanted Atraxis to choose her as like the special person. And in the end, he chose Mische instead. And there were numerous times where her sister just kind of condones what's going on and just kind of brushes it off as being like, oh, we have to repay this God for everything he's given us. And it just feels so messed up. It feels so just irritating. But at the same time, I've never been in that position where it was like this or nothing. I've never been to that moment where I was forced to make a decision that I didn't really want to have to make. And I guess in a way I'm very blessed to not have had to ever made that kind of decision. But I just, yeah, I don't know how to feel about her sister. And we never really got that much closure about her sister. We kind of did. But it just, I don't know. It just felt like I struggle. Like, you can see the struggle in my face. I struggle with Mische's sister quite a bit. But, yeah. It's a really good book. I enjoyed it. If you haven't read the Crown of Nyaxia series, you really should. It's a very unique series. It feels, the first two books felt a little bit kind of like Hunger Games, but it also felt like the Dawn Guard from Skyrim a little bit. It just has a really unique vibe to it. This book, Songbird and the Heart of Stone, feels like vampires mixed with Hades and Persephone vibes, if that kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it's really good. It's a really good book. If you guys have read the series, if you've read Songbird and the Heart of Stone, let me know what you think, and your thoughts on some of the characters. Did you like Mische and what's his name? Asar? Did you like Misha's sister? Did you feel for her? Like, give me all the thoughts. And I'll see you guys soon.